Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria and this is my October TBR. In October we have spooky season. We have all these books planned. I am excited. I am super ready. I suck at TBRs, but I love making them. So we're gonna keep doing it. So these are, at the time that I'm filming this video, the books that I want to read in October. Will I actually read them? We'll see. But these are the ones we're going to talk about in the video. So in October, I have two reading vlogs planned for videos. One of them is a for sure going to happen. The other one is a tentative maybe, depending on how I feel throughout the month. So those books will be added to the TBR, but I'm not going to talk about them because that would be a spoilery. My reading vlog wouldn't be as fun if you knew what books I was reading beforehand. I do have multiple different categories that I have picked from. So we are going to start with the two new releases that I'm hoping to read in October. The first one is SARINA Bowen's new book, Boyfriend. This is in the Moo You hockey series, which is in the world of True North. But this is the only book in the Moo You series that SARINA Bowen is actually writing. This one is really interesting because it was originally written as a short novella and then she adapted it into a full-length book. And I never read that little novella, so I'm super excited for it. The blurb seems really cute. This one seemed like almost like Rent a Boyfriend situation where they are going to be like a fake dating situation. I don't really know. I don't really need to know anything going into a SARINA Bowen book. She is an 100% autobi author. This whole shelf here is SARINA Bowen, so she's one of my all-time favorite authors. She's having a new book. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna buy it. So Boyfriend comes out October 19th, and the next one that I want to talk about is Puck Drills and Quick Thrills by Eden Finley and Saxon James, which comes out October 6th. This one is the last book in the Colchester University hockey series. I am so sad the series is ending. I absolutely adore this series. This is a hockey sports romances, and they're all MM, and they're co-written by Eden Finley and Saxon James, and they're amazing. I love them. So this one I am excited about because this one is going to be older. So the other ones have been new adult because they are all in college, but this one is actually a professor at the school and the hockey coach. So in this one we have, I think his name is West. He is the older brother of one of the heroes from the previous book in the series. I think it's the fourth book in the series. And he was a professional hockey player until his parents died. Both of his parents died, and he had to give up his hockey career to come back and watch his become the sole custody of his four or five younger siblings, one of them being one of the heroes from book 4. So you got to see West a little bit in book 4, but this is his actual book, and the love interest for West is a professor who works at the college, and he doesn't like athletes. So I'm excited. It's gonna be like an opposites attract situation. So I'm a bit hyped for that. I am so excited to have another Eden Finley book, but so sad that the series is ending. Although the series is called Colchester University Hockey, so when you think about it that way, maybe they'll make a Colchester University football series. I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. But I love the series and would totally recommend it, and I cannot wait to read this book in the beginning of October. The next category that I want to talk about is books from Kindle Unlimited. I try to use my Kindle Unlimited subscription at least a couple of times each month, whether that be reading a book on KU or using it as a checkout to get a whisper synced audiobook. I just want to make sure that I'm using my subscription services because I pay for them. So I have 3 books that I'm hoping to read on KU. The first one is Hook by Gina Maxwell. This one is one that I recently saw on, I think it was Samantha from Books with Samantha's video in her like trope week. She was talking about this book and she said it was a Peter Pan retelling because it's Hook. She said it was MM, and that's all I needed to know, really. I have no idea what else it was. I don't remember. I know that I immediately wrote it on my TBR when she was talking about it on that video, so I have to read it. The second one from KU that I really want to read is Unhinged by ONLEY James. This one is the very popular going around. It went around all of September basically, and that was they're like about psychopaths, but like kind-hearted psychopaths or like lovable psychopaths is what I've heard about it. But they're also MM, or the S series is also MM. This is the first one and they seem pretty short. They're like 200-ish pages each. So I'm hoping to get to that one. What I know about this series is that there's like this billionaire who adopted a bunch of children and turned them, or like he adopted a bunch of children that had like psychopathic tendencies and then turned them all into like psychopaths and like killers. That sounds interesting and yet terrifying. So I'm not sure how it's gonna go, but everyone loves it, so I had to read it. This one, I mean, I've seen so many people read it. I know that Jenn from the Book Refuge was the first person that I saw read it, but I think Crystal and Jessin from Jess and Reads Romance, and Tori from Novel Life, and Tiffany from Neverland Pixie on Instagram all have read it in September, so I need to jump on that trend and read it too because I love MM and that sounds really good, so I need to read that one. The third one from KU that I want to read is Truth or Dare by Danielle Allen. This will be my first Danielle Allen book. Danielle Allen doesn't really have any audiobooks. I think she has one audiobook from the Love in Color. I think that's the name of it. There was like a foundation where you could donate, or it was to raise money, and then it gave indie Black authors the ability to make an audiobook, and I think Danielle Allen was one of the authors that was chosen. But this is the one that I've always wanted to read from her, and now that I can read some ebooks, I knew immediately that I had to read Danielle Allen. So Truth or Dare, what I know of this one is it is about a group of friends that were like friends in high school, and they go to this like private island or something, and they're feeling like really reminiscing on their time in high school, so they decide to play Truth or Dare, and these two friends are dared to kiss each other, and they never really had like feelings for each other before the kiss, but after the kiss they're like starting to develop feelings for each other, and it's like a friends to lovers romance, and it sounds really good, and I know a lot of people like it. The first person that I heard talk about it was Jess from Peace Love Books, but it was also included in Samantha from Books with Samantha's Trope Week, so reoccurring theme. I really liked Samantha's Trope Week, so I included a couple of books from that. The next service or category that I want to talk about is Audible. I want to read at least one book from my Audible library to get my number down of unread books on there. So the one that I have on my TBR for October is Blame It on the Champagne by Fiona Cole, which I believe is a like accidental wedding romance, and I think she accidentally marries her boss. I think they get drunk in Vegas and accidentally get married, or like drunkenly get married, and then they wake up, and I'm pretty sure it's with her boss. I think that's what it was. I hope that's what it was because that sounds amazing, but I remember it being that, and being like, absolutely, I need to read that. That was the only one from my Audible library that I wanted to choose for this month. So the next category is Any Play. That's another subscription service that I have that I try and use at least a couple of times each month to make sure I'm getting the most out of it. The two that I have on there to read are Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade, which I recently talked about in my 6 books that I want to read before the end of 2021 video, which I will link in the cards above if you haven't seen it yet. This is one that people really love, and it is very popular, and it's about fan fiction. So the heroine is a plus-size heroine, and she writes fan fiction about the show that she likes, and she has a romance with the main character of the show that she writes fan fiction about. So I can't wait to read it, and I am excited that it's on Any Play and I can get to it in October. The next one on Any Play that I want to listen to is Lick by Kylie Scott. I think that's what her name is. Yeah. Lick by Kylie Scott. This is a rock star romance, I believe. And it's also a drunken wedding situation. So the blurb for this one basically just said that the heroine wakes up in this room with a naked tattooed man next to her and a big diamond ring on her finger, and that was like the whole blurb. And I don't know, I'm feeling it right now. That's just like the vibe that I'm going for right now. So between Blame It on the Champagne and Lick by Bionicle, I feel like or Lick by Kylie Scott, I feel like I'm gonna get my fill of that, but it's what I need right now. The next one category that I want to talk about is Hoopla. Have 2 books on there that I'm really hoping to read. The first one is High Risk Rookie by Odette Stone. This book in a series of hockey romances that I have read. This one is about a high risk rookie. So it's about a rookie hockey player that is very like over the top, and he is very like, he needs to get his act together, clean up his act. He is not good publicity for a team. And the romance is between him and his sports agent. So I think that she, against her better judgment, like signs him as so she'll be his agent. But she, with the like addendum that he needs to clean up his act a bit. And I don't think he really does at first. But I think their romance is between the two of them. It has pretty good reviews on Goodreads, and I liked the rest of the series, so I thought I would give it a try. The other one from Hoopla that I want to read is Detour by KACEY. This one is a rock star romance, and I believe that the heroine is on tour with the hero. I don't know if she's a musician also. I know that he's a musician, and I know that he's like a crazy player, and she like isn't a fan of that, but he's like into her. So I think it's a like, she doesn't like me but everyone likes me, so why doesn't she like me kind of thing. But it sounds pretty interesting from the blurb, and it has pretty good reviews, so I thought I'd try it. So those are the 2 from Hoopla. I then have one from Libby that I want to read, which is Portrait of a Scotsman by EVIE DUNMORE. This is a newer historical romance series, which are very like feminist historical romances. So they are all about a group of women that go to Oxford, and they are part of the women's suffrage movement, and they have romances with wealthy gentlemen, basically, I think. So this is the 3rd book in the series. I really, really liked the first book in the series, but I wasn't the hugest fan of the 2nd book in the series. which is A Rogue of One Owns. The first one is called Bringing Down the Duke, and I really liked that one. The second one is called A Rogue of One's Own, and that one was a little too feminist, not enough romance for me. I wanted more romance, and that one focused a lot more on the like feminist plot line rather than the romance plot line. Like they focused a lot on her work for the women's suffrage movement, and I didn't quite believe the romance in that one. But this one is between a Scotsman and a woman working in the women's suffrage movement in England, so I'm intrigued. I think the cover is beautiful. I really, really like the first one, so I'm hoping I like this one. So it just recently came out in September, so I thought I'd try it because the library has it. And what's the harm? But those are all the ones that I had written down. So those are the ones that I'm hoping to get to, or that I'm feeling like I'll want to get to in October. Again, my TBRs are usually more of like a light guideline rather than something that I rigidly stick to. I tend to mood read a lot more, but at least having a TBR makes me feel a little bit more organized. So if I'm like absolutely in the middle of the month, like I have no idea what I'm feeling, I don't know what to do, I can look at my TBR and be like, okay, that one does sound good, let's try that one. So it gives me a little bit more of a direction rather than like a structure. So that's where we're at, but that's it for this video. So let me know if you've read any of the books on my TBR. Let me know what's on your TBR, and like the video, subscribe, stick around. But that's it. So